Hello there. The title of this video is The Shape of Flat Kansas. Everybody's heard that Kansas is flat. I haven't made a video in quite a while, and you may have seen me posting or commenting that I kind of dropped out of the whole flat earth scene, trying to help them. I had always thought that sharing some surveying information might be helpful, but it turned out not to be. So I kind of left that behind, but people have commented on my videos that they were pretty interested in surveying and were interested to learn more about it. This video isn't a flat earth debunk video at all. I don't really care about that anymore. It's more of demonstrating just what I did recently, playing around. I was curious to see if I could use Walter Bislin's Geodetic display engine, whatever it is, on his blog. I wanted to see what Kansas would look like just using the triangulation stations throughout the state. So that's what this video is going to be. Hopefully it's not too lengthy, but I'll go through this. I'm not going to do a lot of editing. I don't really care about polishing it up or anything. I'm just going to freeform or freely fly through this and do it and let you see what I did. And also I've given you the links here to where I'm getting this information. And let's start with I guess these books. I went ahead and looked up in the NGS library old reports on the triangulation that took place in Kansas long ago. So this definitely predates GPS. This one is dated 1921, Triangulation in Kansas. Here are some pictures in the back of the book showing the triangulation scheme, the actual observation lines of sight between the different stations. This is an overview of the main scheme of triangulation that was observed throughout the United States leading up to the formation of the North American datum of 1927. Just some more close-ups of some of the bases, or the what was called the baseline, where they actually measured a length. So here's the base, southeast base, and so they would literally measure that with rods or steel tapes. And then of course these lines are not measured length, but they are the angles have been measured. Here's an intersection station. In other words, nobody sat there, but that was observed and intersected to create the location for something called Small Peak. Here's another one. But the rest of these were occupied. And just another view of some of the bases. Meads Ranch is actually an important station. It formed the basis for orienting NAD 27 to the ellipsoid. And so that's a base that they literally measured the length of to then compute through trigonometry all the rest of the lengths to then compute the positions. You could spend hours looking at this information. Here's another book dated 1934 called The First Order Triangulation in Kansas, and that was observed, computed on NAD 27. These are the triangulation stations, or the marks I should say. They all have different significance or meaning, and you can definitely read about that. Here's the triangulation station mark. Here's a traverse station mark, reference mark, benchmark, magnetic station mark, and hydrographic station. Just another view from the book. Here is another, it's linked in the description box. You can look up what the state plane coordinate system is and how they took all these latitudes and longitudes and projected them onto mapping surfaces, either a conic or cylinder, and created state plane coordinates. So this book here has the plane coordinate projection tables, and this was on a Lambert, so that's a conical projection. And I should have turned that. Let's turn that. So here you can see the counties. There were two zones, a north zone and a south zone. Again, I want to kind of breeze through this because otherwise the video will be really long. And I'm thinking, like, if I share this type of information, whoever's interested in it, you can definitely look it up and spend some time with it. For those of you still engaged with flat earthers, for what it's worth, you can try to share this information with them. I think it's of interest because of the fact that this wasn't done last year. This was done a long time ago. And I should say what we're looking at here. I'm rambling and not telling you what I'm showing you. This is the triangulation diagram for the state of Kansas. Okay, so what you're looking at is somebody occupied this point with a theodolite and sighted on braddles to a target, which was most likely a light or a heliotrope that aimed sunlight back to them so they could see that. They measured the angle to Hogue and Wilson, etc. So every line you see is a sight line using a theodolite. Most likely they were occupying these stations from atop a very tall tower, which I'll show you a picture of. And if you've looked at my videos before, you know that I've shared this type of information in other videos as well. So this is the triangulation throughout the whole state. And what I've done, what I'm going to show you in this video, is I literally downloaded all of the data sheets for all these points. And then I'm going to export them into Walter Bislin's Geo display. And we're going to see what the shape of Kansas is. All right, so let's see, what else do I want to say about this? Well, here's the counties. Actually, I downloaded the data per county, and so each county has stations. There was only one county that was void or had no stations in it. I forget the name of it. All right, so moving on. Okay, here they are. You can look this up. Look up Bilby Steel Tower, or triangulation party on top of a Bilby Steel Tower. You'll see a lot of different pictures. I love this picture. I have no idea how they got the shot. They certainly weren't flying by in an airplane. This thing's 103 feet tall. My guess is they must have staged this, and they probably built a Bilby Steel Tower next to or close to them just to get that picture, but I'm guessing. It's quite an effort to put that tower up. So right now it's a mystery how they got that picture. Here you could see a light. This light would be put up on top of the tower and aimed at another observing tower. Here you can see the theodolite. And the thing about this is the theodolite is on top of its own tower. That tower is called the inner tower, and this is the outer tower with the platform where the surveyors walk around on the platform and they do not disturb the instrument. So the instrument is very stable, and it's over top of, it's been set up over top of one of those brass discs. Alright, so that's back to that first book I was showing you. So we're done with that. Let's see, what did I do next? Well, I'll show you where you can get the triangulation diagram. I've given you this link, and you can look up the triangulation diagram for your state here. Xana is doing us a nice service by storing all these records, these old maps. And I'm also giving you the link to where you can get these geodetic control diagrams. So these are kind of subsets of the triangulation diagram for the whole state. So these are broken up into geographic blocks by latitude and longitude. And the nice thing is you get the sheet with it that tells you the name of the station, and because some of these are numbered on the map, they don't put the full name there. All right, done with that one. So the next thing I'm going to show you are the data sheets. So here's an example of a data sheet. This station is called Barnhart. We have its latitude, longitude, ellipsoid height, orthometric height. It tells you this was horizontal coordinates were established by classical geodetic methods. That means by theodolite triangulation, basically. Could also have been traverse. You have coordinates here in state plane and UTM. You have what they observed around the station, the distance, approximate distance anyway, and the geodetic azimuth. And then the station description when it was established in 1934, describes how to get there, and then recovery notes along the way. So let's look at how I did that. I'm going to look these up by county. I'm going to look for Kansas. I'm going to get the county list. Pardon me. And I'm going to look for second order or better. So you can narrow down your search. You can look for GPS only stations. But I'm looking for the old stuff. Okay. And pick the county you want. I'll start with Allen, right at the top of the list. Submit. Comes back. These are the stations in the county. I told it select all, get the sheets, and boom. And then I just saved this as a web page, as an HTML file. I'll just close that. So I saved them and named them by county, and then I imported them into the software that I use called Trimble Business Center. And like here, I'll just select all the stations that are in Barton County. Oh, I should also mention that I took that PDF, which is just a scan of a paper map. In other words, that map was not produced digitally. It was printed on paper, and all those maps there on that Xana site are PDF scanned images of these paper maps. What I used there was Global Mapper to georeference the PDF, and all I did there was assigned, and I have a video, you can look it up, it's called Geo Referencing Pdf Files. I just picked that point there and called it, 102 west, 40 north, assigned that coordinate, and you can do that for 4 points, gets it done. And this thing I've projected it in UTM NAD83 meters. So that's what we're looking at here. So you can see county by county, you got all these different stations. That's not too bad there. Lone Elm. One thing I'll point out is that you'll find stations, I'll show you all the points. You will see that a lot of names get reused. You'll see some doubles in here. Like Baker. Baker gets used a lot. You see Bakers all the time. There's a Baker. Here's a Baker. There's another station Baker. But each of these is uniquely identified by its own PID. Okay, so they've all got their own identifier to make sure you've got the unique one. All right, what did I do next? Well, I exported these into Excel. Okay, so from here I'm going to export Earth-centered, Earth-fixed coordinates of all of these points. All right, export. It's pretty dense, dense coverage there. So I'm going to export a custom format, and it's going to be ECEF XYZ meters. And I've already done this, so I don't want to do that, but right now, so out goes that file. Then I went ahead, I could show you how I concatenated the name. I wanted the names to appear as numbers in Walter's display, and I put the station name in the description field with the PID. So I'll go show you that next. Excel. I wanted the descriptor field to look like this. I wanted it to have the elevation, the PID, and the station name. All right, so that's what I did, is I made that field concatenated with the elevation and the PID and the station name. And then I renamed all these just by numbers. So my file looks like this one here, I think. All right, so it's the point ID, which, like I said, I just numbered them 1 to Control End. Oh, 1,527 points. All right, now, instead of UTM, because I'm going to plot these in Walter Bislin's Geodata, is using ECEF coordinates. I've done videos on that. You can look up what Earth-centered, Earth-fixed coordinates are and how they can actually show you the shape of something in 3 dimensions. Like off-roading on a road. I got this truck. I didn't ask for it either. I came up to the counter and they're like, "Do you want a Tahoe, a Jeep, or a Ford pickup truck?" I said, "Oh, I'll take the Jeep." And
Plastic top.
it had the plastic top, yeah, so I turned it back in.
Jeep would have been sick, but yeah.
Yeah.
Plastic top.
I don't know, this is working out pretty well, this truck. This is good.
It was like a nice new like Wrangler or something.
Oh, it's a brand new red Jeep Wrangler. I don't think it had as much room as this, you know. see that?
Oh, is that when we stopped that?
Now watch it. It's right here.
Yep.
Boom. I don't know.
It's all
I
gunny.
think I'll just stay right here.
Marker 12.
So there's our balloons. Here's the list.
And it shows, elevation, azimuth.
Jeez. You want to see the ECEF coordinates? Positional. This is Utah state plane coordinates. Here's ECEF. That's a cool piece of video right there. You're getting the ECEF positions in real time. Very cool. So that's what I have in meters, X, Y, and Z coordinates, and then my feature code or my descriptor. So let's go look at, I'm going to open that file in, I'm going to open it with, I like to use TextPad a lot, but I'll just use Notepad here. Control Shift End and copy. So let's go to Walters. Here I'll show you what I loaded in there already, but I'll show you how it works. Oh, let's look north. There. North is that way. Can you see the curve? Do you see it? Looks curved to me. One thing's for sure, it seems to be a big rectangle. It's a curved rectangle. Alright, so that's how the XYZ coordinates appear. There is a measurable curve, no doubt about it. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Oh, I was going to show you how to load the coordinates. I'll do that. Upload. So you remember I had already copied from Notepad. Paste that. Control Home. All right, so there's my points 1 through, what was it, 15, 27. Here's all the other ones I've done of Utah Salt Flats, Route 80, and you can also find Lake Pontchartrain Bridge in here too. I plotted those. It's very cool looking. So I don't want to create another file. I mean, I could go like this, but then it'll be on the list. But anyway, you paste your values in there, and then you just hit save, and it will end up being on this list. We have Rainy Lake in here, Route 80, like I said. Oh, this is the Greater Sapien, the flight when he went around the world. That was cool. Oh, some of these are mine, I guess. I don't know. I kind of forget. Anyway, so anyway, let's load this again. And what I want to try next, I forget how to do this. You can calculate the radius by some shifty keystroking. Like I can do that. I think if I hit Control, let me see. If I go over here, hit Control to that, and then I got to hit Shift over here maybe. So let's see. You got to really read the all the information. Walter has documented everything in here. So I guess this is saying my selection of those points created a radius that is 114 kilometers shy. It's within 1.8%. Let's try another. Let's try over here. Let's go that way, and go that way, and go here. And that's within like 3%. So, whoa, I don't know what I'm doing now. That's interesting. That looks like a traverse. Here's a traverse. That's different than triangulation because they're literally going they're probably set up about 10 meters above the ground on small towers, whereas the triangulation is much further apart. But they don't see too far. You can't see too far. All right, that's enough. I don't want to make a big long video. I hope this was under 20 minutes. That's it. See you next time. Not sure when. Sayonara.